friends, my pleasant and humble wishes. The first topic is Centre announces hikes in MSP for paddy pulse oilseeds. Farmer groups unhappy with increase in paddy price. The central government has hiked the minimum support price, that is MSP, for common paddy to rupees 1940 a quintal for the coming kharif season, less than 4% higher than last year's price of rupees 1868. The decision was taken by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs on Wednesday. In a bid to encourage crop diversification, there was slightly higher increase in MSP for pulses, oilseeds and coarse seeds. Both Tur and Udar dal saw the MSP price by rise of rupees 300, a 5% increase to rupees 6300 a quintal, while the highest absolute increase was for sesame, whose MSP rose 6.6% to that is rupees 7307. Groundnut and Niger seeds saw a high increase also. However, maize saw a minimal hike of just 20 rupees in a quintal. The MSP is the rate at which the government purchases crop from farmers and is based on calculation of at least 1.5 times the cost of production incurred by the farmers. This year, the MSP for Bajra was set up 85% above the cost of production, while the MSP for Urad and Tur will ensure 60% returns. The MSP for the remaining crops were mostly set around the stipulated 50% above the cost of production. The announcement comes at the time when farmer union have been protesting for more than 6 months on Delhi outskirts, demanding legislation to guarantee MSP price for all farmers for all crops and a repeal of a 3 continuous farm reforms law, terming the announcement a jumla as it does not account for full cost of production. Farmer groups under the Samyukt Kisan Morcha noted that some increases, especially for maize, did not keep pace in the inflation. There is no mechanism that guarantees that for every farmer can get at least MSP as the floor price in the market. Therefore, this is meaningless concept as far as farmers are concerned, and that is why this movement have been asking for statutory entitlement for farmers so that a remunerative MSP can be ensured for all farmers, said the SKM. Briefing the press after the meeting, Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said, "The hike in rates was proof of centre's commitment," the Agriculture Minister said. On the protest, he said the centre was always ready to hold talks, but the union had not accepted the options presented to them, suspended the 3 laws. If they want to talk about any other option other than the repeal of these laws, we are ready to discuss and arrive at a solution, he told the journalist earlier. The next topic is about hold fresh talk with farmers, Akalidar tells the centre. It seems NDA government is firm in towing line of corporate sectors, says the Sukhbir Singh Badal. Former Deputy Chief Minister of Punjab and Shiromani Akalidar, President Sukhbir Singh Badal, on Wednesday asked Union Agricultural Minister Narendra Tomar to hold fresh talk with farmers agitating against the 3 new farm laws. He said the government should speak to farmers to understand why they are seeking repeal of laws instead of outrightly rejecting their demands. Urging the NDA government to be sensitive to pain and anguish of farmers, Mr. Badal said, "It is shocking that NDA government is effectively telling farmers that there is no space for discussion in the democracy." He said it was equally more shocking that besides ruling out any talks on taking back the 3 black laws, Mr. Tomar have asserted that the agriculture laws are in interest of farmers. It seems the NDA government is firm in its desire to toe the line of corporate sector, which wants an end to the minimum support price system and assured government purchase of food grains. There can be no other reason for rejecting the appeal of Sangyukt Kisan Moksha to hold talks to resolve the crisis. Mr. Badal said he appeals to Mr. Tomar to hold unconditional talk with the agitating farmers and accept their demands in the interest of the farming community. The next topic is central deportation of officers is very low, says the Department of Personnel Training. Department of Personnel Training states that not sending enough officers may affect the future cadre review proposal. With states not nominating enough officers for central deputation, the Department of Personnel and Training Officers has shot off letter to the state governments, causing them that not sending enough officers may affect future cadre review proposal. For instance, Uttar Pradesh have over 500 Indian Administrative Service officers, but data has shown only 32 IAS officers are presently on the central deputation. Similarly, in West Bengal, Bihar, and even Gujarat shows the same. As official of Uttar Pradesh cadre, however, said it was not the officers we are not willing to go to central deputation, but the no objection clearance was hard to come by. The final clearance is given by the Chief Minister. Many officers from Uttar Pradesh have applied, but they are not getting clearance, said the official. As per the norms, states have to depute all India service officers, including Indian Police Service officers, to central government office. At any point, it cannot be more than 40% to the total cadre. Norms have been changed earlier. Last year, to tide over the crisis, the Department of Personnel and Training changed norms and made it mandatory for IAS officers from 2007 batch onwards to mandatorily serve for 2 years in central deputation within first 16 years of their service if they wanted to be empaneled for the Joint Secretary rank in future. Before any officers of IAS is called for deputation to the center, he or her occurrence is required. The establishment office is the Department of Personnel Training invites nominations from the state governments. Once the nomination is received, the eligibility is scrutinized by the panel and then an offer list is prepared, traditionally done with the state government on board. The next topic is malicious web link seeking vaccination status targets the government officials. The message asked officials to click down on the website, this is quoted here, to generate digital certificate of COVID-19 inoculation. Several government officials, including Defense Ministry official, were targeted on June 9 by the malicious web link sent on WhatsApp and SMS asking them to update their vaccination status. An officer said when he clicked on the link, he directed to the page at government.in that resembles the government website mygovernment.in and asked the key in the official email and password. An email received by Defense Ministry officials said that as part of awareness drive regarding post-vaccination measures to be followed by the armed force, a questionnaire was required to be filled and Google Drive link was shared. Some officials even received phone calls where the caller said he was calling from Army Hospital and the official need to update the vaccination status on link being sent on WhatsApp. The officials were sensitized to not click on the link as it appears to be phishing attempt to access their official emails and correspondence. A considerable part of government office are still working from home owing to COVID-19 restriction. The government have informed the Rajya Sabha in March that total of 110, 54 and 59 websites of central ministry departments and state have been hacked in 2018, 2019 and 2020 respectively. Finance Ministry bats for 24/7 vaccination drives. Finance Ministry has made a strong pitch to vaccinate 70 crore people with at least the first dose by September in order to achieve and herd immunity against COVID-19 and regain the momentum of economic recovery. As meeting the target would require 93 lakh doses to be delivered a day from now. The ministry has suggested making vaccination on 24/7 activity, particularly in August and September, when vaccine supplies are expected to improve. This can enable the ambitious but possible throughput of 1 crore shots a day, it said. Assuming herd immunity at 80% of the adult population, the ministry calculated that 70 crore people need to be vaccinated soon. As on date, 90.2 crore people have got the first dose while 4.7 crore have been fully vaccinated. If the 70 crore people must be vaccinated by the September 2021, it is estimated that around 113 crore doses are needed. The ministry said, while attempts are being made to fast-track procurement of vaccine from the international market and 216 crore doses are expected to be made in India between August and December, the ministry suggests aligned supplies with September 2021 target and system whereby people already having antibodies are vaccinated later while people who do not have been exposed are given priority. The second wave spread to rural India has been rapid, but the share of rural districts in the new cases was still lower than the level seen at the first wave's peak, the Finance Ministry said. This proportion stood at 57.9% in May compared to 63.6% in September 2020. However, the number of rural districts bearing 20% of new cases increased sharply from 12 in March to 43 in April and 47 in May, which in turn is 3.4 times greater than their share during the peak of the first wave. On the latest COVID-19 infection trends, the ministry said that a high weekly case load is evident in the states like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. Given the improvement in recovery rate, actively cases exhibited a declining trend across states bearing Tamil Nadu and few northeastern states, it noted. The next topic is Revive Free Narration Schemes for Migrants. Activities urge Prime Minister Modi. The centre must operationalize the Supreme Court's recent order to ensure migrant workers' welfare by reviving and expanding last year's Atmanirbhar scheme to provide free rations to such workers and other needy people who do not have ration cards, according to the three activities who are intervenors in this case in the top court. They have written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and all Chief Ministers to push for urgent implementation of the Supreme Court's order on May 13 and 24, directing that all migrants and standard workers be provided dry rations and cooked food. During this time of crisis, it is unconscionable to not provide basic food and social security to the economically vulnerable workers of the country. At the time when the government has recorded high stock of food grains, 100 million tons as per FCA website, and there is acute distress among the working poor. This stock must be used to provide rations to all those in need. Food security net must not only be restricted to the ration card holders, they added. The next news is about the state news of Tamil Nadu. Implement lockdown strictly, says the Madras High Court Chief Justice. Madras High Court Chief Justice Sandeep Banerjee on Wednesday expressed disappointment over the police not enforcing strictly the ongoing lockdown in Tamil Nadu to fight COVID-19. He said it appeared as if the lockdown had been lifted and it was party time on roads. The next topic is, it is imperative to not allow an inch of forest land to encroach, Madras High Court says. It is absolutely imperative that not even an inch of forest land in the state to be allowed to encroach upon by anyone, the Madras High Court observed on Wednesday. It also impressed upon the need to maintain the forest land well without spoiling their glory. First Division Bench of Justice Sanjeev Banerjee and Justice Senthil Kumar Ramamurthy said so while passing interim orders on public interlitigation petition alleging encroachment of reserve forest land at Naduvattam village in Nilgiri districts to build private resort. The next topic is dispose biochemical waste properly, says the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board. The Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has warned hospitals and COVID-19 care centers that strict actions will be taken if they do not adhere the norms relating to the segregation and safe disposal of biochemical waste. Hospitals and COVID-19 care centers should ensure that the waste are sent to the appropriate waste disposal facilities. Hope this video is very useful. I would like to say that our academy WAR, Win and Rule, is coaching students in various exams like NEET, TNPSC, UPSCs, as well as we are tutoring students from class 6 to 12 in all subjects. One-to-one student coaching is also available at students' preferable timing. For further detail, refer the description.